go. Right, now this time we are actually here. I forget to change the overlay every time because the auto scene switcher isn't working. I'll get on to Booger about that. But yeah, we're back with the 3v2 series between Edie and Spaden and the three LOTD guys. Went pretty bad for them last time with a sling from Malon to I Like TC, and in fact they're in a relatively similar position again this time, only Midnight Oil isn't in the pocket position again. And we'll see what actually happens in terms of civs and stuff in a second. We'll have a look through the players. But I don't know, I honestly think that Edie and Spaden should really play more aggressively. And I'm very curious to see if LOTD are going to sling again. I mean, they did it once, it worked out really well. Perhaps they're going to try it again. It would be very good. This time, Spaden and Edie discussing potential slinging strategies. But I don't think that's going to work. I really don't. 2v3, you've got to take someone out quickly. And then you've got to deal with the other two as if it were a normal game. That's kind of how I would approach the situation, but we'll see what happens here. We'll have a look at their civs. Down to the very south of the map, playing in red, we've got Edie as the Huns. That's a pretty damn good civ for this kind of game. Not going to have to worry about getting housed. Very fast on their feet, very quick to rush, and certainly going to be a very good castle time for Edie here as well. So I think definitely a good to have a Hun player here. Going to be very powerful the later the game goes on as well. And in green, just above Edie here on the left-hand side of the map, we've got Spaden playing as the Byzantines. As I said last game, we get very distracted by the chat. I didn't actually say that last game, but I am now. Spaden playing as the Byzantines. Byzantines very versatile, and I think that's a great thing as well for this kind of matchup, to have some versatility. Edie and Spaden between them, going to have a great time, I feel. They're going to have a good time with these civilizations. So that's that for Team Spaden and Edie. Let's have a look at Team LOTD. Up to the very north of the map in orange, we've got I Like TG playing as the Japanese. Going to be interested to see how he decides to play that one. Last time we saw I Like TG get slung, and he was playing as the Franks. He made a lot of throwing axes. This time, maybe he's going to make a load of samurai. Who knows? I honestly don't think that's the best decision at all. Samurai not going to be so great in this situation, especially not against Byzantines and Huns, who are probably going to opt to not make any infantry, which is what the Japanese samurai really do counter. So I think probably going to be best if I Like TG stays back a little bit, perhaps. And maybe even if he is the one to sling in this situation. Could be an interesting choice for them to do that. On the far right, in blue for LOTD, we have got EL Malon playing as the Britons, already saying that he's going archers. Well, I think you'd be pretty mad not to go archers if you're playing as the Britons. That's about all they're bloody good for. Either that or making a lot of TCs because they're quite cheap. I think for Malon here, he was the guy to sling last time. It would be pretty lame for him to have to sling again this time. But he's in the pocket position, so I mean, really, he could do quite a good boom here. Playing as the Britons, as I said, they've got a good boom. He could do a reasonable Imperial time, start spamming some longbow into the mix, and, you know, if he's backed up well enough, that could be really powerful for the LOTD guys in this situation. And down to the bottom of the map, finally, burning the Midnight Oil. is Midnight Oil in orange, in pink. Not orange, playing as the Teutons. Interesting for him. He's got the option of knights here, I feel. And pretty much only knights. I think LOTD have got pretty nasty civs, to be honest with you. I don't know if they actually chose the civs to be a little bit more balanced in terms of Edie and Spaden being in a 2v3 situation here. But interesting stuff. I think the LOTD guys definitely got the short end of the stick here, or the short stick here, in terms of civ picks, or civ results, or whatever you want to call it. But we'll see what Edie and Spaden decide to do. I wasn't really keeping up with the chat much there, but it looks like, well, we'll page up and see what happens. They say that they want to do a sling. Teutons, probably going to make a lot of siege, actually, a bit later on. Forgot about that bit. That's quite a big bit to forget about. But Looks like they're going to sling, and Spaden's going to sling Edie. They're probably going to try to take the Teuton player out first. He's very close, touching walls. So that could be a potential for them. And I still don't agree with it, but it could pay off. It could pay off. Let's see. I was just trying to check up on the chat here. See what they're saying. See what they're thinking about. Getting into their heads. Edie, gonna Tarkin rush. That would be great. If he actually does that, that's going to be hilarious. And it could pay off very well, actually. If he gets Castle Drop on the wall and goes Tarkans, a lot of Tarkans could take down a TC incredibly quickly, and they're going to be excellent raiders. Of course, they do have very high Pierce armor. Well, not very high, but they do have good Pierce armor. Plenty of HP as well, so they're going to be decent at raiding, that's for sure. Taking out buildings like crazy with that attack bonus. And if Edie does that, that's going to be a hell of a lot of fun to watch. So I'm actually hoping Edie does get slugged by Spaden now, and he does make a Tarkin rush, and they win the game. And people remember them by building statues. And that's actually a good point. You know, if they could mod Age of Empires a little bit more, like a graphical mod, it would be really cool if you can add like player statues and things into the game. I think this game needs more statues. I don't know if I'm saying that because I played too much Terraria a while back, or if I just like the idea of having a bust of Edie, so kind of in the map somewhere. That'd be cool. Anyway, Spaden, what's he doing? He's having a little bit of a fight with this scout cavalry on the front, getting his villager involved. Blue's going to have to retreat away, and that's goodbye to your scout.
Yes.
Edie might be, yeah, I think he was trying to, not Edie, Spaden probably trying to lure those deer in there. We can see a deer there on the front. And, of course, we'll be fast castling pretty quickly here. Spaden will stay feudal, though, because if he is to sling, then you do stay feudal. That's kind of the typical deal with it. But he is putting down a blacksmith as well. So, he might not do that. He might actually, well, it seems like what he's going to do is fast castle, and actually then sling, but he's not taking any gold, so maybe he's going to sell some stone to do that. We'll have to wait and see. Market's up. Let's see if he sells the stone here. Yeah. Either he sold stone or sold wood. Something. No, he didn't sell stone. He sold wood. He must have done. And then he's going to get the food, and he's going to upgrade to the Castle Age, at which stage he will start to sling Edie. Eddie's putting down a stable, a blacksmith, and a barracks. Similar build to last time. In fact, identical. And he's going to go up to the Castle Age right now. In 13 minutes. Not bad at all. Of course, no eco bonuses for the Byzantines here. Wait, he's not playing the Byzantines, is he? Ah, he's playing as the Huns. I suppose you could count the lack of houses and eco bonus, but aside from that, not really any eco bonuses, but decent time anyway. 30 population, a little bit more than you would perhaps expect. Taking plenty of stone, we'll do a castle drop, and perhaps we'll see that Tarkin rush they were talking about, which would be very, very cool indeed. No idea what LOTD's doing at the moment though. Let's see, they're all going up to castle, so they might actually be playing pretty standard this time. And I feel like Midnight Oil here, he's on 27 population, which is less than everyone else on his team, might be in for a little bit of a tough time. He's so incredibly close to Edie here that Eddie's castle drop going to come in, and Eddie's got walls behind him to back him up, and Midnight Oil might be in for a tough time. We'll have to see. His teammates are quite far from him as well. There's quite a big distance between him and Malon. Compared to everyone else, they're very close and together on the map. So I don't know if they accidentally unchecked team together or something, because it looks like, looking at this, you'd think that I Like TG and Malon are on the same team, not Spaden and Edie, because it looks like it's a 3v2 this way, but in reality it is not. So I don't know what's going to happen up in the north here. Looks like I Like TG preparing a castle drop on Spaden. Spaden probably going to be pretty pissed off if he gets castle drops again, because last game he was castle dropped, and last game he lost because he was so passive and not really responsive to it at all. So perhaps he will be in for a pretty tough time if I Like TG decides to get super aggressive on him. Malon is obviously in their pocket position here. He's about to hit castle, and I said this before, I think he's going to go for a big boom. Probably 3, maybe even 4 TCs. Cheaper TCs, of course, for the Britons there. They're saying that he's not taking any stone yet, though he could buy some at the market. He has got enough gold for that. In which case, he could quite simply just do a 4TC boom, maybe sling off the back of it, maybe just go for the Imperial Age quite quickly, and from there, perhaps go with a lot of longbows and back his teammates up. Very much a support player. Eddie then, behind his walls here, going to be able to take down this wall, no problem whatsoever. And I hope this Tarkin wall, well, a wall of Tarkans would be cool. But I hope this Tarkin rush happens. It would be cool. Midnight Oil, let's look at his FOV. No, he can see the castle. Of course, the gates here are going to have a little bit more line of sight. So that's not nice for him. He knows what's coming, I think. Unless he's not spotted it. He's not actually said anything, so maybe he hasn't seen it. Which is not nice at all for them in the slightest, I suppose. Siege Workshop behind this as well. Castle up and attacking those walls. Which is nice because, I mean, Eddie's completely protected. He can just, sit behind his wall here, and then as soon as this wall goes down, delete a piece and go in. So that's nice for him. Eddie, are you making Tarkans? Not yet. He doesn't have a lot of food at the moment. But I'm not really seeing any sling from Spaden either. Spaden asking for direction from the arena god, perhaps? Yeah, okay, looks like they might do then. Eddie telling him to wall up. That is indicatory of a sling, but we'll see if he does it or not. I like TG putting a castle out in the front here, a very lonesome castle out on the front, and making some samurai. I called it. I told you he'd make samurai. I don't know why. It doesn't make a lot of sense, to be honest with you. Playing against Byzantines and Huns, but each to their own. Or as some people keep saying, like we keep spotting, people keep saying to each their own, which doesn't really make much sense, but to each their own. El Malon, what is he up to? He's actually going to put up a 4TC, I think. He's got the stone almost, and he's got the wood for sure. And if he keeps just, taking lots of wood, putting all his new villagers on food, he'll keep villager production going pretty nicely. And he's going to be rocking up the score table very quickly here, by the looks of it. Eddie then petarred out. We've got knights coming in, and Mangonel as well. Purple here could be in for a tough time. He's taking in this stone. He's done the right thing, walling behind. But this stone gonna be able to be harassed by this Mangonel out here. And if he's not getting enough for a castle quickly, he's gonna be in for a tough time. He hasn't got enough for a castle. He needs to get a castle up to defend this. Otherwise, all the siege from Eddie is gonna be a royal pain in the butt. He needs to get a castle up somewhere. Otherwise, Eddie's Mangonel going to do too much damage. There, it's going up there, right behind the TC. Interesting location for that. Obviously, if he puts it in front, the Mangonel can kill the villagers, and if he puts it behind, they can't. So it's certainly a good choice by him. He's got another TC in the back. I don't know. Malon here could, not Malon. Midnight Oil here might be in for a very horrible few minutes if Eddie keeps this sort of pressure up. I saw he added in some petards. Not sure. Oh, yeah, he busts through that wall with them. Makes a lot of sense. But that castle going to go up. Midnight Oil's economy extremely damaged, I'd say. He's putting a lot of idle villagers up here. He's not putting the idle villagers up, he's put a castle up. And the idle villagers, as a result of that, he'll get back to work, I'm sure. Spaden walling up, as he's told. Good Spaden. Doing as Eddie tells him, and I like TG still with the samurai. Interesting choice by him, putting up a second and third TC, so his eco's looking decent. Malon with a fourth, I think. No, he's still on 3. Okay. Oh no, yeah, the fourth. It's right. Yeah, there's 4 TCs there. Right. Yeah, putting up the 4th TC as expected, and Midnight Oil in for, as I said, a tough time for the next few minutes. If he defends well, though, it could work out pretty well for him. This villager nearly getting the Mangonel. That would have been kind of funny. The lone villager there, hero of the Teutons, killing for that Mangonel. It didn't happen, unfortunately, and I'm still waiting for these Tarkans, Eddie. You promised me Tarkans. I am disappointed. In fact, he's going very passive all of a sudden, not pushing in at all. And, he could come around this right-hand side and start taking out this TC. The castle does not cover that. He could do that pretty easily. And he could even take out this TC if he was over here with the Mangonel. So Eddie's positioning could be a little bit improved, I feel. he could do a lot more damage than he is doing. I'm not sure what he's playing at. Putting up TCs back at home. Taking a little bit more stone as well. So perhaps we'll see another castle on the front for Edie fairly soon. The Deadly Tarkin Rush, though, I'm so disappointed that he's not doing it. He doesn't have Bloodlines either. Very bare bones eco upgrades here. I think just getting the eco upgrades, that's about it. Spaden, though, let's see what he's up to. He's putting an outpost out, he's looking to see what he can see. He's quite walled up as well, but he's not slung at all. It looks like, yeah, he's going up to the Imperial Age. He did a pretty fast Imperial there, and he's putting up archery ranges, so we will see Arbalest coming out for him. The problem is for Spaden now is that Malon is about to click up to the Imperial Age as well, and we do know that British archers are pretty much the best in the game at outranging everyone, that's for sure. But he's going champion. I don't know why. He could really just add in some archery ranges and do a lot of damage with that, but he's actually adding in a load of barracks, and he's going to go champion. He is the champion, and I don't know, he's just, I think that's a very silly thing to do. You know for a fact that you're playing against Huns and Byzantines. The chances are the Huns and the Byzantines are going to go with, well, knights and cavalry archers or arbalest. I mean, you're not really going to see infantry from them. And so, champions, probably not a very good choice, because there's a very high chance that both your opponents are going to go with archer units, in which case the champions are going to get cut down. And if you're playing as the Britons, when you have awesome archers, you should take that opportunity to build the awesome archers and kick butt with them. Doesn't look like that's going to be the case. Spaden, though, is on the case, and he is reaching the Imperial Age. Castle, Imperial Age done, he's got rams out, he's done crossbow, and what? I like TG's calling GG already. Come on, guys. Don't GG out this early. Don't be ridiculous. Spaden's only just hit Imperial. It doesn't mean he's going to be absolutely owning you. I like TG here. Got the resources for Imperial. I hope they don't resign. That would be so rubbish. It doesn't look like they are. Okay, cool, cool. I like TG going up to the Imperial Age. He needs to start pumping out some army, though. He needs to get some military out. He's not got any barracks. He's not got anything. Spaden starting to build up a little bit of an army out here with the Arbalest. Champion, no, not champions. Barracks still for Malon though, and yeah, he's not building anything yet. He's not got any upgrades yet, but chainmail armor coming in. He's now Imperial, and we're going to see champion flood from this guy. Interesting. Interesting stuff. Another TC out from Malon. Sorry, I like TG, but this is what I'm talking about. He's going to help his teammate out with champions against Arbalests, and you're going to see what's going to happen very shortly, because these champions are probably going to fall flat on their backs in a matter of seconds. I'm not sure what Eddie's up to, really. I reckon he's Imperial. I was going to say, he must be up to the Imperial Age now. Another castle going down on the front, and interesting, that knight was just sort of chilling there. Not sure what's going on with that one. But another castle on the front, and that's really significant because Eddie will be able to get that castle down from Midnight Oil and finish things up with a trebuchet. So Treb's going to come straight out, and Eddie now switching to cavalry archers, which is expected. So you've got cavalry archers and you've got Arbalest, and the countering for that seems to be like the Japanese guy not making any military at the moment. Though saying that, there is some siege workshops in the back. Perhaps we'll see some onagers or something. And two-handed swordsman / champion for the blue guy, which is a little bit counterintuitive. However, he's adding in archery ranges now. I think that's probably a good idea to do that, and actually researching skirmisher. So he's going to add in some skirms. So he will counter the archers at least, but not before he's lost a load of two-handed swordsmen in the process. Eddie, though, now starting to take down Midnight Oil, and Midnight Oil is still castle. He will be for a while. He's got quite an imbalanced economy by the looks of things. A lot of wood in the bank there. And Eddie telling Spaden to kill your guy, and he will do that. He's massacring his villagers. In fact, he's already saying he's dead, which is perhaps a little bit early to call that, but you're going to see now that these two-handed swordsmen are going to get cut down pretty rapidly by the Arbalest. They're doing a pretty good job on the elite skirmisher, but that's expected, and Yeah, Spaden calling it. Brits doing champ. Eddie, champ, what the hell? It doesn't make a lot of sense, but... it's GG, I think, at the moment for LOTD. Midnight Oil here, getting taken down by the Trebs of Eddie. Malon trying to help I Like TG out, but I Like TG is, well, Malon's not really doing a lot here, I feel. He's just getting killed, and killed, and killed again. But there are a few mangonels here for I Like TG, so I mean, he could still bring it back if he gets a good shot, and Malon is adding in some skirms as well, so aside from the fact that he's heavily outnumbered, he could still bring this back a little bit with the skirms here. However, they don't actually benefit from the British increased range, which all other archer units do benefit from. So, again, skirmishers probably not going to be as good as archers if you've got the gold for it, which he doesn't really have either, so... fair play to go with the skirms there, at least it's something. He's going to try and help out his teammate Midnight Oil here, sending in the cavalry, or, well, the skirmishers, and, well, at least they're going to cancel the cavalry archers. That is a good thing. Eddie, though, cleaning up at the moment by the looks of things. And Malon here sending too many units down south, I feel, because I Like TG, nothing. But Onager is done. He could get some huge hits here. Oh, man! Spaden's army, oh, melting away. Look at that. He killed his own Onager in the process, but he's down. Spaden's lost everything. Oh, dear. What was that? I have no idea what that was. Spaden just... that was funny. Whatever. Down in the south, I think Spade's probably going to rebuild that. Down in the south, Eddie up against mangonels and skirms now. He's going to be careful, actually. There's quite a lot of skirms there. Mangonel's going to be pretty nasty as well. And both of them now coming up with the same excuse that they didn't hear that they were being attacked. Yeah, right, okay. I'm sure. No, I imagine he probably didn't hear it because he wouldn't have let that slip in a normal situation. However, this castle will deal the damage. The castle here is more than enough to just take out these onagers in an instant. Castle obviously producing trebuchet, trebuchet taking down other castle. I don't know, Blue's looking pretty good here. He's actually got the score lead of the entire game. Eddie is very much 2v1, although saying that there's not really a whole lot from Midnight Oil here. I don't know what's happening with Eddie today. He just doesn't seem to be himself, or either that or he's just struggling in team game situation. I guess we'll find out fairly soon. Spaden now adding in some bombard cannons. Great choice. Great choice indeed. That extra ranged units, extra ranged damage you can do, it's all going to pay off. And bombard cannons, pretty decent counter to onagers as well, to be honest with you, with that extra 4 range that they have. So, nice stuff from him. Castle coming in from El Malon now. And I'm glad to see that he's finally switched into arbalest, crossbows, archer units, rather than just all-out champions. In fact, well, two-handed swordsman. He never reached the champion tech. Oh, wow. He reached the champion tech. I guess he did. To be honest with you, Blue's looking pretty promising now. He's got a very good army. Well, not a very good army. He's got a mixed army of quite a few units, which is more than enough that he needs at the moment. But Eddie switching now into those skirms. So, aside from the champions, he's going to counter it very easily. Spaden putting on the pressure over at TG. Malon being instructed to go and help him out. And, you know, he might have a very good shot of doing that because Spaden doesn't have a huge land army. Really. Doesn't have much at all. Eddie being pushed back. Castle down for Malon here. And Malon going for those trebs, but not quite managing it just yet. But now, finally, utilising that those archer extra range. He's got 10 ranged on those archers. That's way more than skirms from Eddie here. He's only got 8 range on them. He's got to get a lot closer. I don't know. Malon's playing really nicely here, actually. He could really bring it back for LOTD. He's actually switched to the right tech. And if he does bring this back for them, it could be great. Midnight Oil right now is up to the Imperial Age. He's got a lot of wood, a lot of gold. I know he's playing as the Teutons, but he could spend that on onagers at the very least. Perhaps not worthwhile going for any archer units, but even so, that's quite a lot of resources, a lot of gold definitely saved up for him now. Just saying, protect my siege, and these could be pretty nasty for Edie to deal with. Actually, 5 onagers there, or mangonels. He's going to be able to do a lot of damage to this army of Eddies here. Edie, though, moving up through the middle of the map now. Going to be taking out some of this stuff up here. If you can back that up, that'd be great. Champions attacking the castle of Spaden, as well as these rams as well. Spaden might just be pushed back. He looks like he doesn't have a lot of gold. In fact, very little gold for Spaden at this stage, but his eco is looking nice. Switching into Cavalier, I think that's a great choice for him. It will definitely help him deal with the siege that's being thrown out, but he has lost his castle, and he has lost his forward base. Edie, though, starting to push down through the middle of the map, and I think that's a great thing for them to do. Malon clearly holding this game up at the moment. If they can hit Malon's eco, if they can deny him gold, then that's going to really help with taking out the rest of the guys, because Malon really has just supported his teammates for this last 15 minutes of in-game time. So I think that's a really important thing to note, and I think Malon might even be population capped. Yes, he is. So he's in a good position, and if they can deal with his eco while he's out of position at the south and the north of the map, then they might hurt him quite badly, and at least put a little reduction on the amount of units that Malon is able to create. These champions tanking the skirmishers all day long, and Malon making a move now. Malon is making a move. Surprisingly, no trade from anyone just yet. Perhaps we'll see some trade between Edie and Spaden fairly soon. Eddie's eco looking very heavy on the wood at the moment. I'm not sure what's really going on there. They've not got a lot of gold really. They could really start trading a little bit more. That would be great for them. And it looks like Edie may just get cleaned up here. I don't know. These Arbalests so well ranged, of course. Running into those champions. Messy stuff. Malon making a double push, but Spaden is up to Paladin, and that might just be the game changer. He's saying, we're going to kill all now. Well, yeah, Spaden can rush enough Paladins out here. It's going to be nasty. He's population capped. He's got 33 Paladins out on the field, and against champions, against skirms, against the Arbalest here, yes, they are going to get absolutely owned. Well, not Paladins, the other units that I mentioned, of course. Edie, though, a little bit of a tough time again. He's actually, again, 2v1 here with these onagers and the Blues army. I can kind of hope, though, that yes, they have to deal with this in the north. There's too many units here for either of them to sort of yes, ignore. Spaden's coming in from behind with these Palas, going to try and take down those onagers as quickly as he can. Edie going to run to safety, of course, and perhaps now with these Paladins back here, they're going to clean things up very quickly. The Arbalest is going to be the only thing that really do a lot of damage. I mean, there's not really many champions here, so Spaden can clean it up pretty quick. Getting in there, those onagers going to go down. And that's it for the onagers. Edie can turn back around and get back involved. And we've got Midnight Oil now switching to some Cavaliers of his own. Bear in mind this is 3v1, so Spaden and Edie can get outnumbered very quickly, very heavily. But with that Paladin done, with all the upgrades on the defense done as well, and Spaden likely to upgrade the attack once he's population blocked again, he can really start pushing with this now. Edie just needs to get on the ball, I feel. He is only on 155 population. He doesn't have a whole lot of army at this stage, and he should really be considering adding in a few more cavalry archers, or they should try and get some trade going or something. Let's check the middle of the map. Halbs coming out for both Midnight Oil and Malon. That could change it around once again. Quite a quick reaction from those guys, which is pretty damn good for them. But it might be a little bit too late. It could be difficult. Edie just calling trade now. And even with Halberdier, unless they're fully upgraded, which Malons actually are, they're still going to have a pretty tough time countering the Paladins. Spaden just cleaning up by the looks of it. Siege Ram, done. And Byzantines so versatile. They have the opportunity to just switch up so quickly. Siege ramp for Edie, also done. And I think Edie and Spaden can win this now. I think they've got what it takes. They just need to stop and slow down the military production of Team LOTD. I mean, they've got quite a bit of trade going here as well, actually, which is really nice for them. Let's see what happens here. There's a lot of pink halberdier coming in, but they are quite unupgraded. They don't have any attacker upgrades at all. Spaden just coaxing him, luring him into the Arbalest, and that Paladin and Arbalest combination is so powerful. If you can get that combination about 50-50, then they're in for a terrible time. Of course, the Arbalest will absolutely own the Halberdier. The Age is back, excellent. I'll get him on the call in a minute. The Halberdier will get owned by the Arbalest, and the Paladins will just clean everything else up. So, that's not nice. Spaden there, losing a lot of Paladins. He's down to 178 population, but going up very quickly once again. Those Paladins just cleaning up. And there's the GG, I think. Look at that. Edie right in there. He turned that around very quickly, suddenly making an army out of nothing, it seemed. Down in the south, cleaning up Midnight Oil. Spaden really pushing out on the front. And Bombard Towers coming up for good measure. Why not? Really nicely played by Edie and Spaden, actually. I'm surprised they got this far ahead, this late in. Midnight Oil, though, has been down and out for a long time, to be fair. Edie there with the forward very early on. Did a lot of damage. All these villagers going to die now, get wiped out. And I don't know, I like TG kind of built back up in the north here. Not got a great eco, but he has got quite a few onagers out. Could do some damage with that, but against Paladins, still going to have a tough time. Mass rams now for Spaden. He is running very low on gold, so he has upgraded to light cavalry, which I think is a very sensible thing to do. This castle gonna take out these onagers though. Oh man. Oh man. You're just throwing it away. Edie, what's happening here? I don't know what he was laughing about. Oh, it's been so long since you replenished his lumber camp. Wow, that's quite funny. In the front though, Spaden is being pushed back a little bit. Obviously it is 2v1, but once Edie cleans up down here, which he has done to be fair, he's going to start pushing in from this direction. You've got Spaden spearheading through the middle. I think they could probably take this, but I don't know. I like TG is looking pretty good up here with all this siege. Quite a few halbs as well. All they need to do now is get Spaden, or Spaden and Edie just need to do another tech switch. Spaden needs to get back onto anti-halberdier units, so mass skirts. As long as you deal with the onagers, it'll be okay. He's coming in though, looking to take down these walls and get into Spaden's eco. I will call back VH in just a moment. Obviously, just going to get this game out of the way first. I think we're going to be GG fairly soon.
Yes.
Eddie got that heavy cavalry archer upgrade done. Elite skirmisher coming in as well, and of course Hussar. So he's going to probably clean this up right down here very quickly. Spaden's just keeping that castle alive, incredibly important to do so. And now Hussar for him as well. Needs to deal with this though, as those rams going to get through that wall pretty quickly. Spaden rallying around, it seems to deal with it, but obviously a lot of halbs out for I Like TG. He's playing as the Japanese as well, so his halbs are going to be a little bit souped up, I suppose. The castle going to go down, though, finally in the centre of the map. But Edie now is pushing in, as I said, actually cleaned out the rest of this army. And it looks like he's going to clean out the rest of this eco as well. Going to get right into Blue's eco here, too. Let's see what their trade's looking like, actually. Okay, they've not really got a lot of trade carts out, but they are getting there. LOTD started trading a lot earlier. Actually, and they could really delete some of these walls to make things a little bit easier. If they deleted that, and that would be great. And surprisingly, they've missed this gold here. There's actually 3 gold piles that they've completely forgotten about, it seems. Midnight Oil, I think, probably out of it now. He's not got any villagers left, I don't think. There are a few up here, which are being chased down by Edie, but Hussar's in their eco. They're going to take a while to respond to that, I think. And I think it's all really relying on I Like TG, who has got these few rams at the front, pushing into Spaden. I think that's pretty much going to come down to him here, but Spaden looks like he's got enough to push it back if he keeps mixing in those hussars, as well as the skirms. He should be able to counter this alright if he micros it. I think that's going to be GG. EL Malon there, I think going to call it now.
No.
And I can hear more trade carts being made for Edie and Spaden, so gold units can come back on very soon. Malon saying yes to the GG, but not Earl happy to call it. What about TG? Do you think he's got a chance? Well, going from a 3v2 to a 2v1 wouldn't be that pretty. He's got a lot of idle villagers in his eco as well, so it's going to be tough. And, you know, I'm very surprised the LOTD guys won that first game so quickly. This game, a little bit of a different story, but Spaden and Edie doing a very good job to hold out in the late game. You know, I'm very surprised. I thought, you know, the later on the game would get, the easier it would be for Edie and Spaden for LOTD to take it. But for Spaden and Edie to really make a push in this late game now is really actually quite impressive. To be honest with you, it's very impressive indeed. Spaden's got a lot of rams out, and they're calling GG. Please, if you're gonna GG, just resign. We've got VH waiting to get on the call. GG from Malon and Midnight Oil. It's only I Like TG left, and I think he's probably going to resign in just a moment too. But he should resign in just a moment because it's 2v1 now. And I think that will be about it. Well played to Spaden and Edie there. Well played indeed. They did a great job. Interesting that they managed to really do such a great push in the Imperial Age. They just kind of came out of nowhere, really. A little bit shame about the Tarkin rush that Edie was supposedly going to do, but it never came to fruition. But aside from that, I think that was a cool game. It's nice to see games that are like 3v2 and, you know, odd sort of numbers of players on each team, but yeah, it was pretty cool. Well played to them, and I think we're going to come out now. I was going to stay until the GG, but I'm waiting for VH, so, well, VH is back even, so I'm going to give him a call, and we'll do a caster game together, and have a bit of a catch-up, because I've not spoke to him in quite a while. So that's it, let's come out, and yeah.